curiouser and curiouser!" cried Alice. She was so much surprised that for the moment she quite forgot how to speak good English. She had found her way out of the looking-glass house and into the garden beyond, having recovered from being dizzy. Before she had gotten a good look around her surroundings, though, she saw that the White Rabbit had been this way as well. He was trotting along in a great hurry, muttering to himself as he came, "Oh, the Duchess! The Duchess! Oh, won't she be savage if I've kept her waiting?" Alice felt so desperate that she was ready to ask help of anyone. So, when the rabbit came near her, she began in a low, timid voice, "If you please, sir." The rabbit started violently and scurried away into the darkness as hard as he could go. "Dear, dear, how queer everything is today, and yesterday things went on just as usual. I wonder if I've been changed in the night? Let me think. Was I the same when I got up this morning? I almost think I can remember feeling a little different. But if I'm not the same, the next question is, who in the world am I? Ah, that's the great puzzle." And she began thinking over all the children she knew that were of the same age of herself, to see if she could have been changed for any of them. "I'm sure I'm not Ada," she said, "for her hair goes in such long ringlets, and mine doesn't go in ringlets at all, and I'm sure I can't be Mabel, for I know all sorts of things. And she knows much too little. Besides, she's she, and I'm I, and dear, how puzzling it all is. I'll try if I know all the things I used to know. Let me see, 4 times 5 is 12, and 4 times 6 is 13, and 4 times 7 is... Oh dear, I shall never get to 20 at that rate. However, the multiplication table doesn't really signify. Let's try geography. London is the capital of Paris, and Paris is the capital of Rome, and Rome is... Oh no, that's all wrong, I'm certain. I must have been changed for Mabel. I'll try and say, how doth the little... And she crossed her hands on her lap as if she were saying lessons, and began to repeat it. But her voice sounded hoarse and strange, and the words did not come out as they used to. "How doth the little crocodile improve his shining tail, and pour the waters of the Nile on every golden scale? How cheerfully he seems to grin, how neatly spreads his claws, and welcomes little fishes in, with gently smiling jaws." "I'm sure those are not the right words," said poor Alice, and her eyes filled up with tears again as she went on. "I must be Mabel after all, and I shall have to go on and live in that poky little house, and have next to no toys to play with, and oh, ever so many lessons to learn. No, I've made up my mind about it. If I'm Mabel, I'll stay here. It'll be no use their putting their heads down and saying, 'Come up again, dear.' I shall only look up and say, 'Who am I, then?' Tell me that first, and then, if I like being that person, I'll come up. If not, I'll stay down here till I'm somebody else." "But, oh dear," cried Alice with a sudden burst of tears, "I do wish they would put their heads down. I'm so very tired of being all alone here." While Alice had been trying to figure out who she was, she had been absent-mindedly walking about the garden. When she realized what had happened, she was very glad to find herself still in existence as Alice. She was startled to find that there were several pathways leading out of, or into, she supposed, the garden, and she wasn't quite sure which ones to visit first.